Hello, 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 beautiful people. How are you? How are you? How are you? I know we have people on all different pages. I'm streaming um on I think in four different areas. Um but welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. This is my first time opening up training to the public. But I thought it was really, really needed just for the simple fact that we are entering tax time. And of course, a lot of businesses, were started in 2020. Hey y'all. A lot of businesses were started in 2020. And shout out and kudos to all of y'all that started y'all businesses in 2020. Shout out to all of y'all that leveled up in 2020. Listen, I know y'all are excited about having your business, but listen, you got to get excited about paying your taxes too and filing your taxes because Uncle Sam will come visit. Okay. So I'm so excited for tonight's guest, Carrie Sheffield. Let me tell you the power of networking and actually reaching out to people and communicating with people on social media. I actually just reached out to her on Instagram. I actually was, listen, hashtags work, y'all. When you out here working, hashtags work. So whatever field you're in, whatever it is that you're doing, utilize your hashtags so that people can find you. I was looking for someone who had the knowledge in business tax and that could train in it and everything. And I found her. So I started following her on Instagram. I went through her Instagram page. I went through her website. I was like, let me vet her out because I need to make sure she knows what it is that she's talking about when she gets in here talking to my people. So I was very pleased with what I saw. And I had a conversation with her. I reached out and I said, hey, can we jump on a call? Let's talk about it. And we jumped on the call and we talked about it. And I was thoroughly pleased and excited to have her come and talk to you guys about taxes, um, business taxes, all of this. Okay. All of this. She's coming on in a second. We were on, and then, the internet want to bump people off of the stream, but I just want to introduce you guys my to me myself because I know it's been a long time since I've been on live on a whole lot of these platforms. It's been a long time, but it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without dope beat still. Okay, whatever. So I am Lencia Marshall, CEO and founder of Grind and Grace Experience. We have so much stuff coming out in 2021. You guys are gonna be blown away. I'm blown away. Okay. So shout out to my team who has helped push these items out and helping me stay on task and organized with what it is that I'm supposed to be doing in 2021. And so I'm just honored that you guys, come out and give me your time. And those that trust me that are in my private group, I have two private groups. I'm just grateful that you guys trust me to give y'all the information. And y'all know I'm always coming with the value and I'm always going to bring it. I'm bringing best. I don't know nothing about taxes though. So that's why I bought y'all. I bought y'all Carrie because I don't know nothing about taxes. So you guys definitely ask questions. I think the only things that I can see right now in StreamYard is Facebook. I don't know which Facebook, but I'll try to jump on and look at the comments on the other pages as well as YouTube and all of that. I didn't ask my team for help tonight because I was like, I'm a big girl. I got this, right? I probably should have asked somebody to manage these other pages. But you know what? It's all good. It's all good. So, as you guys know, the tax deadline, I believe this year is May 17th. They extended it for us. Hooray. But one of the things that you need to know as a business owner is when to file your taxes and tax breaks that you can get, especially if you are filing your business taxes under your personal taxes, and things that you can write off on your taxes, all of that jazz. Like you want all of that information. And Carrie is here to give you that information. I know she is having a little technical difficulty with getting on, but hopefully we can get her on in a second. Before we went live, everything was cool, right? Everything was great. Like the internet was working. She was on, um, and we was doing great. And then all of a sudden, it kicked her out. But you know what? Y'all already know how I flow, so it is what it is. So let me give you guys a little bit of information though. Um, for those of you that do not know, yes, we coming back third year in a row with the retreat, the Ground and Grace Experience Retreat. I'm so excited because by June we will be releasing all of our speakers. I know some of y'all just waiting on it. I know some of y'all waiting to get y'all tickets because y'all like, we want to know who the speakers are first. Just know they fire, okay? Okay. I ain't never about y'all no junk. This is it's gonna be fire. If you saw if you saw the house last year or if you experienced it last year, it was amazing. And if you know me, you know that I said let's take it up a notch this year. So we definitely went up a notch this year. Okay. So if you guys haven't seen pictures of the house, I'll get it for you soon. Oh, there's Carrie. I'll have pictures of the house for you guys up soon, and we'll be releasing the speakers for the retreat. So I'm just so excited. That's November 18th through the 22nd. VIP gets an extra day. They get extra training. You get an activation session. Listen, there are only 11. Yes, I did open up another level of VIP. There are 11 spots left. So you guys, yeah, they're gonna be gone. We sold out of level one VIP in probably I think like 8 hours. It was gone. Hey y'all. My team is on y'all. I see y'all over there. I see y'all. Um, so we sold out in about 8 hours of level one VIP. So now we have level two VIP. And we are so excited to host each and every one of you guys. We've made changes. Here's this, and then I'm bringing Carrie on so she can go ahead and go. Whenever you are doing anything, you always want to get feedback from your supporters and feedback from your attendees. Every year that I have done the retreat, I did a survey. And I sent out the survey after it was over. And I said, we asked different questions. You know what I'm saying? What was your favorite part? What was your least favorite part? I ain't gonna say no names, but I'm pretty sure she on here when she said that they needed nap times from 2019. I remember it. She said we needed nap time because I was tired. You know what I'm saying? So in 2020, we implemented some nap time, just a little bit, just a little bit. And so in 2020, we did the same thing. We did another survey. And so we are continuing to make this process better and better based on the feedback that we get from our attendees. And we can only be as good as the feedback that you guys give us. So definitely, we appreciate all of the feedback that you guys have given. We've made those adjustments. Hey y'all, made those adjustments so that you guys can have a better time. And I can tell y'all one thing. This is one thing that I am going to tell you about the retreat this year. Okay. Every day we're done by I think 3:30, 4 o'clock. Like every day we're done. This year, because COVID restrictions are being lifted, people are able to leave the house and actually return if you leave. So it's going to be amazing. It's definitely going to be relaxed. It's going to be rejuvenation. We're just gonna have a good time. Okay, y'all. We're just gonna have a good time. Okay. Carrie was on here and I think it kicked her back off again. So I want to know, you guys are asking questions. So I have a question for you guys. What questions do you have? What questions? First of all, who's already filed their business taxes? And don't y'all get on here talking about some of y'all file y'all business taxes and y'all know y'all ain't file y'all business taxes. Who has filed their business taxes? Let me go on here and let me see what y'all talking about on here. Because I see comments. But I can only see the comments from, that's the comments from one thing. Let me go on my page. Who filed? Okay, I don't see y'all talking about who filed their business taxes though. Let's see. Oh, they have like, okay, so on my business page, they have closed captioning. How fancy is that? Wow. But I speak so Southern, you know? I don't think that they really know what I'm saying. Um, oh, let me go in. I know where you guys are. Here I come. Here I come. Okay, here are the comments. Okay, I haven't yet, but we'll be doing it this weekend. I know nothing about business taxes. I don't know what I'm doing, bro. I can't stand y'all. I can't stand y'all. And that's why we're having this conversation. We are normally together every other Monday in my private group. So this time I decided to open it up so that everyone can get this information because the Monday after our second Monday is the tax deadline. So yeah. Let me text Carrie and see because I see um one of her screens is up because she has an entire PowerPoint for you guys. Um, let's see. So, any questions that you guys have specifically about taxes? And while you guys are getting your questions together, I just want to tell y'all this. Like, this is so crazy. Y'all know I'm so transparent. So, I am scared to wear jewelry right now outside of my ring, outside of my wedding ring. I'm scared to wear jewelry right now. Okay. So I don't know if you guys saw that I had an allergic reaction to nickel from wearing some doggone costume jewelry. And this is the crazy thing. Like I legit went in Pandora to get this gold bracelet, right? And I went in there, I was like, oh yeah, I'm just get the gold bracelet from Pandora and I'm gonna leave on out because I don't like going to the mall. So I said, I'm just gonna go in, get some real quick, and I'm gonna run up out of here. But I was in there and I was like, oh, I'm gonna spend all this money. Let me just go get me some costume jewelry. I go to Forever 21 and the jewelry was so cute. It was so cute. It was right there by the register. It was so cute, right? I bought all this costume jewelry because I'm like, it was cute. Okay. I couldn't help myself. I done bought anklets. I done bought bracelets. I done bought necklaces. Hey, y'all. And then all of a sudden, I'm telling y'all, so like Sunday, my photo shoot was last Friday. So I done had this anklet and this bracelet on because I had this anklet and this bracelet on like all weekend, right? I done took showers in this stuff. I'm washing my hands in it because my actual bracelets and my real jewelry, that's what I do. Like people, like listen, my friends will tell you, they'll be like, so you just went and took a shower in that pearl necklace? This pearl necklace is real. Okay. Like I have real pearls. Not all of them real. Not all of them you see me in is real. But I have real. So I'm used to having my jewelry on for an extended period of time. And, long story short, because Carrie is back and I do not want her to get kicked off again. Yeah, I had nickel. I had an allergic reaction to the nickel. So now I'm scared of wearing jewelry. So y'all got me on here looking all country with no earrings on. I don't even care. I'm scared to wear jewelry right now. Okay. Real or fake. Don't judge me. Okay. Judge your okay. Anyway, I'm gonna be nice because Carrie's on here. Okay. So let me bring Carrie on. You guys, her name is Carrie Sheffield. She is the CEO and founder of Total Financial Firm. I am going to bring Carrie on and I'm going to get out the way and I'm going to let her take it over. All right, y'all. So y'all pay attention, ask questions. Carrie, I will post questions up on the screen so that you can see them when they have the questions. But other than that, take it away. I'm done.
All righty. Let me know if you can see the PowerPoint presentation because I did want put one up for us to kind of walk through. Perfect. Yes, perfect. Okay, so as Lancia said, my name is Carrie Sheffield, and I'm the owner and founder of Total Financial Firm, an accounting firm that specializes in business taxes. We do personal taxes as well, but we more so focus on business bookkeeping, business taxes, and all things finances related to businesses. So what I wanted to do today was obviously first introduce myself and then kind of walk through some basic fundamentals when it comes to the tax game and the financial statements of a business. Just because in my dealings with new business owners, Sometimes we're super, super good at the operations piece of it, but then when it comes to the administrative side of it, even if we are financially savvy, sometimes we're just not privy to what is required as a business owner from a tax standpoint. And then we get letters in the mail, we get, notices in the mail, and we're overwhelmed because we owe penalties, interest, and we don't know where to start. So that's where I kind of come in and I help business owners. So we'll hop right in, and then we'll take some questions at the end if there are any. So again, a little bit about me. I won't go through all of this, but essentially, I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky. I moved to Houston in 2018. I attained a bachelor's of science in accounting from the University of Louisville. I have an MBA specialization in accounting from Indiana Wesleyan University, and essentially, I've been doing accounting for about 13 years. I decided to start my own accounting firm just because corporate is great. I love it. It gave me the foundation I needed in order to start my own firm. But me personally, I just feel like I'm more useful and I'm more impactful being, someone that can assist small business owners with their tax situation and also with their finances. So that's about me. So we'll go right into it. So one thing that I always tell prospective clients and existing clients is accounting is pretty much the foundation of your business. If you don't have your accounting straight, it's going to be very difficult for you to have anything else in your business straight, right? So for instance, if you have the accounting, the foundation of your business correct from the accounting standpoint, then you should be able to understand your business's profitability. And by profitability, it means like, are you profitable? Are you making money? Do you need to increase price points? Do you need to reduce any of your expenses? Are you at a point where you need lines of credit because your cash flows are kind of, up and down and you don't know if you can make payroll or just your normal operating expenses? And it just kind of your accounting and your books, your financial statements kind of let you know if you're able to meet any debt obligations that you may have. And simply put, whether you're able to take draws from the business in order to pay your personal expenses, right? In addition, the accounting kind of helps you plan for your taxes. So I know several months back, when Donald Trump was president, there was a meme going around talking about how he only paid $750 in taxes. And social media was in a complete uproar. And the fact of the matter is, I can't say everything he did was legal, but a lot of what he did was legal. And the fact that there's a lot of loopholes out there that even the, mom and pop small businesses can use in order for them to pay the least in taxes. But again, if you don't have your books in order, then it's very difficult for you to even know if you qualify for those loopholes, for you to even know what tax bracket you're in to try to decide, okay, what can I do to pay less in taxes and try to keep money in my pocket and away from Uncle Sam. And then last and certainly not least, I'm sure everyone has also seen the PPP loans and EIDL loans that are going out around, that are out there. The IRS, the government is pretty much putting money out there because they want small businesses to stay afloat. But unfortunately, what I saw was a lot of small businesses just were not prepared because they were running the operations and they're just looking at their bank account balance thinking, oh, okay, I see I have money in my bank account, I'm good. But then when it came to applying for those PPP loans and EIDL loans, the bank wants to see financial statements. And unfortunately, a lot of us weren't prepared initially. Now, the good thing is they did extend those deadlines, so it allowed time to get prepared. But, a lot of people missed out on the first wave of money that was out there just because of lack of preparation or just lack of time in order to get the financials together. So again, just to reiterate, if you're going to have a business, it's very, very important that you have the accounting and the bookkeeping piece of it together. It may not be your area of expertise, but I definitely suggest that you partner with someone like myself who is well versed in that, who can kind of lead and guide you from a tax standpoint and let you know how to at least set things up properly from the beginning so that you're not getting any surprises later from the IRS or the state or even local governments about taxes that may be due. So next, I just wanted to go through, I'm saying bookkeeping and accounting is the foundation. So what is it? So bookkeeping is essentially categorizing all your expenses that you might have in your business and any money that you have coming in. When you do that, it essentially results in what's called an income statement, or better known as a profit and loss statement, or a P&L. A P&L is just basically a quick view of your revenues and your expenses, or your sales, that you have from a particular, product or a particular service, less any expenses you had. And that's going to get you to your bottom line, which they call profit or loss, right? So that's the main one that you need, and that's essentially, I tell people this all the time when I speak to potential clients. Is the first thing I always ask them is, do they have their bookkeeping in order? Do you have financial statements? Because the other thing is, without the income statement, the P&L, there's no way anyone, not you, not any tax preparer, not even myself, can properly or correctly file your taxes without this P&L. So this is a vital one that I put on here first, just because I wanted to highlight it the most. Just and to just say that this is one that's paramount for your taxes, and to understand how your business is performing, whether you truly are profitable. Second is the balance sheet. I won't go into this one in detail. You can kind of see a snapshot of what a balance sheet looks like on here, but essentially a balance sheet is going to give you a look at how much your assets, your liabilities, and your equity is at any given point in time. So if a bank comes in and says, how much cash did you have as of April 30th? You should be able to pull your balance sheet and say, oh, my cash balance was $100,000, according to what's on the screen right now. If you have inventory, if you sell T-shirts or you sell, some sort of product, this balance sheet is going to tell you the value of the inventory at that particular date. So the balance sheet is very good. A lot of lenders look at the balance sheet because it kind of tells them whether you're cash heavy, if you have a lot of cash in the bank, or whether you have a lot of debt that you owe. And also lets them know if you have any obligations to anyone who may have contributed capital into your company. So the balance sheet is another good one. It's not necessarily required to properly file your tax return, but again, it is something that you want to have readily available, especially if you're in growth mode in your company and you may, it eventually needs a line of credit or some kind of bank loan. They're going to ask for a full financial package, and that package should include a balance sheet. So that's that on the balance sheet. The next is your statement of cash flows. So a statement of cash flows is one that's not really talked about frequently. It is part of a standard financial package, but the statement of cash flow essentially should tell you, an investor, or whomever, where your cash is going. So if you spent $100,000 in any particular period of time, it should tell you whether that $100,000 went to the operations of your business, whether it went to financing the operations of your business, or whether it went to investing activities. So did you use that $100,000 to invest in a different line of service to add into your business, or invest in a new product? Did you use the cash in your company to run the operation, so just pay your normal operating expenses, or buy new inventory, or pay payroll? Or did you use it to repay debt that you may have had? So again, the statement of cash flows, I feel like, is one that's not commonly discussed. But it is one that I always include in financial packages to my clients, just because I want them to understand where the cash is going from month to month and from period to period. So those are the three main financial statements that should be in a financial package that will pretty much help you understand the health of your business, and whether you're going to look good to a potential lender or a potential investor. I'll kind of stop there. I feel like I went through quite a bit right there. So I'll kind of stop there and see if there's any questions that anybody has, or anything that I can clarify at this point in time. And Lindsay, I'm not sure that I can see the questions on here. So if there are any, I don't know if you maybe can read them for me.
I will definitely read them for you.
Okay,
I'm looking to see if we have, because we are streaming on all these different platforms. So I'm trying to make sure that I can.
Okay, and if we don't, that's fine. I just thought I would kind of stop midway through and see if there are any questions about anything that I've shared so far.
If anybody is typing questions, let's see. I'm gonna give y'all like 30 more seconds. I'm gonna give y'all 30 more seconds because I know y'all got text fingers. So y'all go.
What they call it, Twitter fingers, right?
Right. The Twitter fingers. The Twitter fingers.
Right.
Baby on it. So I'm gonna give you about 15 more seconds. Because I do not see questions. So
okay. Well, we'll keep rolling right on through. So So this next section, so we've talked about understanding the health of your business, being prepared to get financing if you need it, knowing if it's time to add lines of service, or if you're not profitable, do you need to increase price points, all that good stuff. Now we're going to talk about 5 main taxes that most businesses have to pay. This is probably one of the most important pieces of having a business, is understanding this, because this is where I see a lot of new businesses, and even businesses that have been in business for a long time, get in trouble because they don't understand the taxes that are due or that are required to be paid by them, or they simply didn't know the timing of when they were due. So then they get stuck with penalties and interest and all that stuff. So I always kind of present this whenever I do these type of presentations, just to kind of go through the 5 main ones. Now, the crazy part about it is this is 5 different tax types that are pretty common, but this is not all inclusive. Depending on the industry that you're in, depending on if you are in trucking or fashion or whatever the industry might be, there may be some other tax liabilities that you're due to pay. But these are typically common amongst all industries and amongst all small businesses. So I always highlight these. And then, of course, if you were to work with my firm, then we would kind of analyze your industry and what your business does and decide if there's any others that we should be looking at and making sure that you're staying compliant with. So the very first one is income taxes. So this one should be one that's pretty familiar to everyone. So everyone knows that the tax deadline every year is April 15th. Of course, with COVID, I didn't think I would ever see the IRS change tax deadlines in my lifetime, but funnier things have happened. With COVID, the deadline is May 17th for most states. The state of Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana, due to Winter Storm Uri, all of those states have actually until June 15th. But for most others, it is May 17th. And then in a good year, when nothing weird happens like COVID, obviously the deadline is April 15th. So income tax is essentially the tax that you pay on any income that you make, whether it be that you're working for a different employer and you're getting a W-2, or whether it be that you own your own business and you're getting money from your clients or customers that you sell a product to. So what it is, if you work for a company and say you're supposed to make $5,000, you get your check stub, you only bring home $4,000. That $1,000 is income tax that you're paying throughout the year, right? That's as a W-2 employee. As a business owner, you're not paying those taxes from the money that you're getting from clients. So the IRS, and we'll get into this in more detail in a little bit, expects you to pay quarterly tax payments, but that's still going towards your income tax bucket. So your income tax is calculated based on a marginal tax rate. And by that, I mean, you see the brackets on the screen. So say that you made $85,000 in business income. You don't pay 24% on the full $85,000. I think that's a misconception that people get when they see this bracket. They're like, oh, I'm single, I made $85,000. That must mean that, it's actually 22% tax rate. That must mean I pay 22% flat on $85,000. That's not correct. You're actually going to pay less than that. You would only pay 10% on the first $9,950 that you made. You would pay 12% on any income between $9,951 and about $40,000, and then you would pay 22% on any income between $40,000 and $85,000. So the average doesn't come out to be the 22%. It comes out in this scenario to be about 18% or so. So that is a misconception. I hear people say, oh, I pay 22% in taxes. You're not really paying 22%. You're paying, an average of that based on whatever tax bracket you're in. But one thing's for certain is we're all going to pay income taxes. If you have any type of income, you're going to pay these taxes to both the state and you're going to pay it to the IRS. Now, some states, such as Texas, where I reside, don't have state tax. Florida doesn't either. And I believe the state of Tennessee doesn't have state tax either. But all other states typically have state tax in addition to federal. So you just want to keep that in mind when filing your tax return. Whoever your tax strategist is, your tax preparer should know that. And then you also want to keep that in mind when paying your quarterly taxes throughout the year. So we'll go to the next one. So again, I just talked about estimated quarterly taxes. So again, if you work for a company, every time you get paid, you're paying towards your income tax liability throughout the year. The IRS says, as a business owner, they still expect for you to pay towards your income tax liability throughout the year, hence quarterly taxes. So the first quarter's taxes I always do by April 15th. Of course, with COVID, that was a little funky. And last year and this year, they didn't extend it actually, but last year it was a little weird. But in a year where there's nothing weird going on, the first quarter will be due on April 15th. So essentially, you would be paying an estimated tax payment on any income that you made between January and March of that year, and it would be due by April 15th, so on and so forth. So same thing for second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. If you do not make payments, quarterly tax payments throughout the year, you're automatically going to be paying a penalty and interest. Why? Because again, the IRS expects for everyone who is making income to pay as you go. And that means you have to be making payments throughout the year. You cannot wait until you file your taxes at the end of the year to pay these. You can, but you're gonna have penalties and interest, and you're probably gonna get letters in the mail. And one thing's for certain about the IRS is sometimes they get behind on correspondence. So you may have made a payment on the tax bill, you get another letter that says you're still behind, and you're on the phone with them trying to explain it, trying to prove that you've already made the payment. They still have that, you owe penalties and interest. So the fact of the matter is, don't even let it get to that point. You just want to make sure that you're making these quarterly payments to not only the federal government, the IRS, but also to your state, if your state has state taxes. I think that's another place, a misconception that people are not aware of, is that these quarterly tax payments are also due to the state, not just the IRS. So you are expected to pay quarterly taxes if you're going to owe at least $1,000. I can tell you on average, if you're going to owe $1,000, that means you made at least $5,000 in income. So keep that in mind. If you make even $5,000 in your business, then the IRS is expecting to see quarterly tax payments from you. Okay. Otherwise, again, you're getting assessed late fees, penalties. I'm not going to call out exactly what the late fees and penalties are because it's on the slide right there. But you can expect that you will get that letter. And I'm sure everyone has heard the IRS is super behind right now. There are about 29 million tax returns behind in processing. So a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't pay, I didn't get a letter this year. And then 2-3 years down the road, they get a letter saying, oh, you never paid quarterly tax payments. And now you've had penalties and interest accruing for 3 years. So, it's very easy to think, oh, I got over it. They're not aware I didn't make payments. And it's like, no, sometimes it takes them a minute to catch up. I know that they're definitely going to be focusing on this kind of stuff in the upcoming years. They've already announced that audits are going to increase by 50%. So again, that's another reason why you just want to make sure that your business is straight shot out of the gate, and that you're doing everything you can to pay the least that you have to pay and to be timely and avoid any penalties or interest. So that's it on quarterly tax payment. So next is self-employment tax. So self-employment tax obviously is exactly what it means. If you are self-employed, you work for yourself, you're going to pay more taxes than someone who works for another company. Reason being is because if you work for another company, they're paying their half of the tax liability, and then you're paying it as their employee. But when you own your business, you're paying both portions. You have to pay the employee portion of taxes, and you also have to pay the employer portion. The employer portion of taxes is 15.3% of whatever you make. So that means if you bring in $100,000, then you're going to have to pay $15,300 in self-employment tax. Now, again, if you work with a tax strategist, not just a tax preparer who may just enter, your tax information and leave it at that, but a tax strategist who's going to find ways for you to reduce the amount that you pay, there are ways to kind of reduce that amount a little bit legally, but standard, on average, you're going to pay about 15.3% in self-employment tax just because you employ yourself. You have a business of your own. So that's definitely something that you also want to keep in mind as a business owner, is that you do have that additional liability that you'll be required to pay. I think this is the final one. No, this isn't final. It's the second to final. So employment taxes. This is essentially if you have any employees. If you have any employees, as I stated before, whenever you work for a company, the company pays half the tax, and then you pay the employee, you as the employee pays the other half. But when you have people who work for you, then you're paying taxes just because you have, those workers under your belt. So that is something to keep in mind too. The three levels are Medicare taxes, you have the federal income tax, and then you have the federal unemployment tax. So I'm sure everyone heard about unemployment this year. There were a lot of people who were unemployed due to COVID. So as an employer, you're essentially paying into that unemployment bucket. So if someone were to leave your company and they filed an unemployment claim, the money that you have paid into that unemployment bucket is how they're getting paid when they file that unemployment claim. So that's why every employee, or every employer rather, is required to pay employment taxes, and within that is the unemployment bucket. And then last, this one should be one that's pretty familiar to everyone, is sales tax. So this one can be tricky because every state has different rules on what should include sales tax and what shouldn't. So as a perfect example, what is sales tax? So it's no different than if you go to Walmart and you buy a $100 item. Say that you're in, I know here in the state of Texas, sales tax percentage is 8.25%. When you get to the register, yeah, that item was $100 on the shelf, but you get to the register, you pay $108, right? That $8 is sales tax. That doesn't stay with say you purchase it from Walmart. That $8 doesn't stay with Walmart. They're just simply collecting that and then paying it right back to the state. So you should be, as a business owner, depending on what you're selling and what service you're offering, you may need to be collecting sales tax and remitting that to the state. Again, I can't really say exactly what services, what products are tax or should include sales tax because every state is different. That's where you need to work with a tax strategist or do the research yourself on the state comptroller's website to figure out, okay, in the state that I'm operating in, what should include sales tax. Like, for instance, here in Texas, janitorial services are not taxable. But then if you go to a state like Kentucky, where I'm originally from, they are. So it really kind of depends. What doesn't change, and even the tax rate does change from state to state. Like I said, I know in Kentucky, where I'm from, the sales tax rate is 6%, whereas in Texas it's 8.25%. So sales tax can be tricky. Again, it's another one where I see people get caught up because it is difficult to know what should include sales tax and what shouldn't, because every state is different, every rate is different. But that is one that I definitely always try to bring up, because that's another one where I see people get notifications in the mail that they haven't paid sales tax and that they weren't even aware that they needed to, or even where to pay it to or how to pay it. So that's the very last one. So I went through the final five, or that's the main five tax liabilities that most businesses have. And then we've already gone through the accounting piece of it. So I'll go back to if there's any questions. I think I saw one pop up, but it's not on the screen anymore. So Lindsay, if you don't mind to share it with me, I'm happy to answer.
Absolutely. So this question is from Ebony. It just says Facebook user, but it's Ebony.
Okay.
It says, should we file our business and personal taxes separately?
Good question. So it depends. If you have a single member LLC or a sole proprietorship, the answer is yes. The answer is no. They get filed together. If you have a multi-member LLC or a partnership or an S corporation, they get filed separately. With a partnership, an S corporation, or a multi-member LLC, you have to file what's called an information return with the IRS, and you get what's called a Form K-1. And that K-1 just essentially tells the IRS how much of the business's income that each partner is responsible for. That K-1 you take and you essentially file that on your personal tax return. So it kind of depends. That's where you would need to let whoever is doing your taxes know whether you're operating a single member LLC or sole proprietorship, or whether you're operating a partnership or S corporation. Based on that information, they should be able to tell you whether you need to file your personal business separately or together.
That's good stuff right there.
Yeah.
So next one from Jocelyn is, I'm just starting this year. I put personal funds not made via business to start out. So do I put this on the statement?
Yes. So you're saying that You put like, I'm just throwing arbitrary numbers out there, $5,000 into the company just to get it started so you could buy whatever you needed to get it up and running. Yes, that would go in your financial statements. I don't know if you were on when we talked about the balance sheet, but essentially it will go on your balance sheet. You would have cash on there because that's the cash you contributed, and then you will also show where you as the owner contributed into the company. So the answer is yes. And the reason why it's very important that you include that on there is because if ever you sell the company or whatever the case may be, you want to be reimbursed for the money you put into the company, right? But if you don't have that on that balance sheet, there's no record of it. They don't know, or whoever you purchase or sell the company to wouldn't know that you, as the owner, should be reimbursed for whatever you personally contributed into the company.
That's good. That's good. We got another question from Ashley. What can small business owners do throughout the rest of this year to make next year's tax filing an easier process?
Good question. Going back to what I said before, essentially the accounting, like you have to have your books in order. Like, that's what I'm running into right now is I'm getting consultations, which is awesome. The deadline is on May 17th, but a lot of business owners I'm talking to, they haven't done anything with their books. They have a business bank account, which is great. I recommend that for every company. You should definitely have a business bank account because you shouldn't be commingling personal and business funds. But they have a business bank account. That's it. They don't have any financial statements. I would definitely say stay on top of your financials. If you're a startup business, you're not in a situation where you're able to afford monthly bookkeeping. At least try to do it quarterly. QuickBooks does have some starter packages for self-employed individuals. You can just link your bank account in there to pull the transactions in there, and then you tell QuickBooks what type of expense it is, and it'll do it for you. So, I understand as a startup business, I was once a startup business myself. You may not have the funds to pay an accountant, at least 350 to 500 to 1,000, however much it is per month. But you definitely need to make sure you have some kind of books in order so that when tax time comes, you're not scrambling around. You're not missing expenses that could be claimed as a deduction because bought something in January, February, and then you can't find the receipt, all that good stuff. That's another way that you may end up overpaying taxes because you really did have expenses, but you don't have any proof because you misplaced it or you can't remember, you don't recall. So that would be my suggestion is just make sure you're staying on top of your bookkeeping from day
Well, I have a question, Carrie.
one.
Okay,
Okay.
so as far as filing taxes, I know as a sole proprietor or a single member LLC, you can file it with your actual personal taxes, right?
Right.
So, about deductions, because we
Yes.
always hear so much about small businesses and how, many deductions that we can, claim on our taxes.
Mhm.
Is there a place where small businesses can go online and see what all of these deductions are? Because none of us were prepared for May 15th. And I say us, I'm not really meaning me because I don't file my own taxes.
Right,
But
right.
people not prepared, or new business owners, where can they go before May 17th to find out what these deductions are and how they can get them even filed as an amendment if they've already filed their taxes to file an amendment?
Yeah, good question. So to be honest with you, there isn't one place you can go, and I'm gonna tell you why. Every year it changes. Now I can tell you, I always start with the IRS website. You always want to start with the IRS website because that's coming from, the sources coming directly from the source. But typically the IRS only has like the basic deductions on there. And sometimes it's not even updated for, recent announcements. Like I'll give you prime example. Like I don't know if everyone is aware, but if you had unemployment income up to 10,200 of that, you don't have to pay taxes on it. It took a while for the IRS to update the website to indicate that. But, tax professionals, we have, we just kind of keep on top of the news. We have other sources that we may tap into to kind of keep on top of that. But to answer your question, I would start with the IRS website. And then another good place to go is Forbes.com, the finance section. Sometimes they will list like deductions that are unordinary that may have just recently passed in law. And then there's some that are pretty standard year over year, like, your home office deduction, your mileage deduction if you are truly using your personal vehicle for business expenses. But I would tell you, even for me as a tax professional, I'm constantly staying on top of that. I'm taking courses every year. Even sometimes while tax season is going on, if I hear something new that came out and I'm like, I don't think I have all the details in this, I'm taking courses. So, not to scare anybody or say it's not possible to stay on top of it. I definitely think you can go to the IRS website. You may be able to even do a Google search. But you still want to probably try to get, as a business owner, it gets to a point where you probably want to try to at least put money to the side to work with someone who's well versed in taxes, because if you don't, I promise you, you're probably leaving money on the table.
So basically, just get you a carry.
But
Okay.
I wouldn't say that, but either that or go to our website or go to Forbes.com. That's a good one I go to. Go to the finance section, and you can see some of the most recent deductions there. But yeah, I mean, I definitely say try to partner with the tax strategy.
This was very informational. And the questions were so on point.
Yes,
It's stuff that
yes.
a lot of small business owners do not know. Filing your business and your personal taxes separately. Like the way you broke that down, like I didn't know. I didn't know. I was like, I thought only sole proprietors can file
Mhm.
their business and personal together. So, okay, K1, I heard you. I was paying attention.
Hey,
Um,
I'm just here trying to help everybody keep money in their pocket,
I,
away from Uncle Sam, because we work hard for our coins, and we shouldn't have to get the love.
Oh,
So
girl. Okay, we have another question. Let's see. If you have an in-home business, are you able to use a percentage of your household expenses as deductions? For examples, utilities, rent, or mortgages.
the answer to that is yes. The IRS always makes things as difficult as it can. So there's actually two different methods. You can use what's called the standard method, which is just essentially $5 per square foot for each square foot of office space in your home. So essentially, like say you had a 100 square foot office, you could claim a $500 deduction, $5 per square foot, or you could do actual expense deduction, which I think is what they're referencing, where yes, you can look at your utilities, you can even look at your mortgage interest and your mortgage, if you own the home. You can look at your mortgage interest and your mortgage payments, and you can use a percentage of that. Your telephone, if you do rent the space, you can use a portion of your rent. So the answer to that is yes, you can. Just make sure that your records are very tight, because if you don't use a standard deduction, then that is an area that's highly audited. When you start using those actual expense deductions, same thing with mileage. If you don't use the standard and use actual expenses, that is one area that's highly audited. So yes, you can.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. I'm so proud of each and every person that is on watching with us today.
Yes,
If
yes,
this is your first year in business or your first year filing taxes as a business, welcome to Uncle Sam's world.
yes.
Always said, don't be scared. You just make sure that you are working with someone who is really knowledgeable, i.e., like Carrie. Um, Make sure that you're working with someone who has that knowledge, who has honed in on their craft and their skills, who are always taking their continuing education credits, and that knows what they're talking about. Don't go to Pookie on the corner to get your taxes filed and he just plugging in numbers for you to get your taxes filed. Because one thing that I can tell you is that, and this is from experience, if someone files your taxes and they make a mistake, it is still your responsibility
That
to
is
pay
correct.
the penalty.
Yep.
So you want to make sure that whoever is doing this for you, that they know what they're talking about and that you are giving them the correct information as well. If you're going in
Mhm.
with your W-2s and you're filing as a sole proprietor, you want to make sure that you give them all of the information so that you don't want to come back and
Yep.
the
Agree.
IRS get you that young bill. Because let me tell you, they do not send the bill. Carrie, why don't they send the bill within the time that you can actually pay it and not, get the penalty? If you owe 2016 taxes, they're going to send you the bill like 2019, but it's going to be
Yeah, and don't think that they didn't let penalties and interest accrue for those 3 years.
oh,
So you
yeah.
like it's just not worth it. Like it's just not worth it. And the other thing too, I know a lot of people run into, well, I moved and I didn't get my W-2, or I got some 1099 income. I'm not sure how much it was. You can work with a tax professional. Either you can go out there yourself and request your own tax transcripts from the IRS, and it will tell you exactly how much was reported to the IRS in income for you.
Mhm.
So don't let that be something like you're playing a guessing game. Like, well, I know I have some other income, but I'm not sure how much. I'm just not going to file it. Don't do it because IRS knows. And then, like Lynthia said, you're going to get a letter in the mail saying, oh, we saw that you did not claim this income, and then you got penalties and interest. So there's ways to get around if you misplaced a document or you're not quite sure. You can still request that transcript from the
That is awesome. So,
IRS.
Carrie, please tell everyone, how is it that we contact you? How do we stay in,
Sure.
constant communication with you? Let us know.
Yeah. So sure. So I'm on Instagram, obviously, is Carrie underscore your finance diva. And then also my accounting firm has a separate page as well, Total Financial Firm. If you would like to schedule a consultation, you can go to my website, totalfinancialfirm.com, and schedule a consultation there. And then, of course, there's email as well, Carrie at Total Financial Firm. We offer an array, you can see on my screen, of services, all the way from bookkeeping. If you're trying to form a business, you're not quite sure whether you should be an LLC or S corporation or just a single member LLC, we do offer business formation services as well as tax planning, bookkeeping, and tax preparation as well. So we are, like I said, we try to be a one-stop shop for clients. I don't have to go to multiple different people, but we're always open to answering any questions and having that discussion with you via consultation.
That's awesome. So what I want, my gift, because I'm always giving stuff away, right? I'm always giving stuff away. So what I am going to send to every person, let me send this link. I forgot what the link is. Hold on. Because what I'm going to send you guys is an Excel template for a profit and loss statement.
Oh, yay.
I gotta get this link together. I gotta get the link together. I will post the link. I'll post the link for you guys to register on the link. And once you guys register and send your email addresses, then tomorrow I'll make sure that you guys get a template of a profit and loss Excel sheet so that you can use for your business. We are still ahead of the tax deadline for our 2020 taxes, but however, you can use it going forward for 2021 and beyond. And I'll make it really, really simple because if you don't know, my second language is Excel. So I'll make it really, really simple for you guys to be able to actually feel confident when you walk into your tax preparer's office or when you get on the phone with them. You know your business. You know what I'm saying? You know the finance of your business, and that makes you more confident. And it makes you more comfortable with working with your tax professional as well. So, and it definitely helps them that you have your information. So I'm so excited for each and every one of you. Carrie, thank you.
You are welcome. This was great. I hope that I've helped someone, try to keep money in your pocket. But yeah, this was great. Thank you for having me. And I hope that, everyone found this useful and helpful.
Absolutely. And y'all go follow Carrie on Instagram. She be dropping nuggets over there, y'all. So make sure and reach out to her. Go book. Do not ask me about tax stuff, okay? Go ask Carrie. Go ask Carrie because she's a professional. Okay, y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining us. God bless y'all. Have a good evening. You guys will receive the link. I'll send the link out. I'll post it on all platforms so that you guys can have the link and put in your email addresses so that you guys can get the profit and loss statement tomorrow. All right. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. All have an awesome night. Bye.
Bye.